Hello there, how's everyone? Welcome to our next installment of our Journeys in Middle-earth with Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli, who I'll just call Aragorn et al. In the pages, although the story's told mostly from Gimli's point of view, so maybe he's the one we should be focusing on. Anyway, here we are at Edoras. We're going to head for Helm's Deep, and in this video what I want to do is I want to talk about Boromir. We've lost Boromir. We lost Boromir quite a while ago, but I thought it was interesting, would be interesting to talk about why Boromir was so affected by the ring and why Aragorn wasn't, because it's not obvious. And in fact, it's so not obvious that I asked ChatGPT this question, and ChatGPT doesn't actually know the answer. Came up with a number of things, but it doesn't really know the true answer, because what we're trying to think of is, why is Boromir so affected by the ring when Aragorn isn't? Remember, Aragorn and Boromir are both men, and in the movies it's clear they're both the same species. They don't have pointy ears. They're both humans, essentially, not hobbits, not dwarves, not elves. So why is Boromir so affected by the ring, and yet Aragorn is able to withstand the desire to put on the ring? And so you go to ChatGPT and it says things like, well, Boromir was so keen to save his city that he was very tempted by the ring as a result. That's the explanation ChatGPT gives, but it's essentially wrong. The reason Boromir is the one in the Fellowship who is most affected by the ring is because Boromir is just an ordinary man, really. And Aragorn is not. Aragorn is a Dunedain, and he comes from his family lineage is essentially straight from Numenor, and they've preserved the faithful have preserved their lineage, and his family have preserved their lineage, so he's almost purebred Numenorian, whereas Boromir is not, and that's the difference. Boromir is very much just an ordinary man by the time the events in Lord of the Rings happen. And we can see this in a couple of instances. But so, because he's just an ordinary human being and not really special in any way, that's the reason that he is affected by the ring, because men are very, very easily swayed by the rings, as were the 9 servants that Sauron gave the 9 rings to. So what we're going to do actually in this journey, we'll come back to that in a minute. What we're going to do in this journey is we're going to head for Helm's Deep. And I'm going to head out this way, I think, and we're going to see if we can get ourselves to Helm's Deep, which is the next stop on our journey. And as ever, we can now we can get on a horse. Sorry, I have to do this because I've forgotten how to do it. We'll get Steed of the Silent Hunter. I like the look of that one. And we're going to head for Helm's Deep. We can go by horseback now, so we should be able to do this journey a bit quicker. Now, what is the difference between Numenorians and ordinary men? Well, the people who founded Gondor themselves were Numenorians. And as a result, Gondor started off with pure-blood Numenorians, the faithful, they were called, who survived the fall of Numenor. And Gondor itself and the kingdom of Gondor was part of a larger kingdom that was founded by Anorion and his sons. Well, what's his name? Elendil and his sons Isildur and Anorion. And I've read up a little bit about this since the last time we talked about it. So, so the kings of Gondor managed to keep their blood fairly true, but other members of the faithful who came from the fall of Numenor, there weren't very many of them, so they had to interbreed and mingle their blood with the people of Middle-earth. So Numenor was an island that the sons of Elros, or the people of Elros, who is the brother of Elrond, went to found, and they lived there for many thousands of years, or a couple of thousand of years, as a gift from Iluvatar, who gave them the gift for their support in the war against Morgoth. And they went there, and because they were so close to the Undying Lands, they were granted long life, as long as they remained faithful. And eventually Numenor fell, and there's all reasons for that. But Elendil's family didn't lose faith, and so maintained their long life. And they were able to escape from the fall of Numenor when Al-Pharazôn went off and went the wrong way and did all the wrong things. And Numenor was destroyed, sunk into the ocean. But Elendil and Isildur and Anorion and the rest of the faithful managed to escape. And they came to Middle-earth. Now, they all founded Gondor, but the royal family managed to keep its blood pure. But the blood of the other faithful that came to Middle-earth got mingled with the ordinary people who lived on Earth. They just had normal lifespans like you and me. So, as a result, and of course, all of the qualities of being Numenorian, which were not just long life, because Tolkien says in his descriptions of the Numenorians that they were almost elf-like. So they'd gained knowledge and power equivalent to the immortals compared to normal men who were living in Middle-earth. And as a result, they are not... you could probably say that Aragorn is a different race. Not human, but Numenorian. So almost a completely separate race of being in Middle-earth compared to the ordinary men that you see, run-of-the-mill people in Middle-earth. Now, Boromir will have a little bit of Numenorian blood in him, but his family has intermingled over the generations, and as a result, he's pretty much an ordinary human. Now, Tolkien mentions that with Faramir, the blood of Numenor seems to run true, which didn't seem to run true at all in Boromir. Tolkien makes the point that Boromir is very much more a Middle-earth human, and Faramir is very much more a Numenorian. So, and the blood comes out in different ways. Now, we don't know, I don't think that it's mentioned anywhere in Tolkien's lore where Faramir dies. And Boromir, of course, dies young. But here's an interesting point. The father doesn't have the blood of Numenor either. It's very watered down with him too. And here's the interesting thing that most people don't realize. If you picture the movies and you picture the Steward of Gondor, Boromir's father, Denethor, he is an old man. And Aragorn is, in the movies, depicted as a young man. In fact, in the books, is depicted as a young man. Denethor is depicted as an old man. But Denethor is just 1 year older than Aragorn. So it shows the difference in race between Aragorn and Denethor, and the difference in race between Aragorn and that family. So Boromir, as pretty much an ordinary human, he's got a bit of Numenorian blood in him, but he's pretty much an ordinary human. And he comes on the quest and falls to the ring. He greatly desires the ring to save his city, which is what ChatGPT says. But the reason he is so susceptible to its power is because he's just an ordinary man, and men were extremely susceptible to the rings of power. Whereas Aragorn, who is nearly pure Numenorian because the family in the north managed to keep their Numenorian blood true. This is why he's called the Dunedain in when they're in Rivendell. Bilbo calls them the Dunedain because Bilbo knows his history. And so with that pure blood, Aragorn is still pretty much a pure Numenorian. Not quite as pure as the original Numenorians, but because they would live 300 odd years. But Aragorn lives 210 years. So vastly different kind of individual to Boromir. And so when we look at the movies and we say, well, Boromir's a man and Aragorn's a man, why did they why were they not both affected by the ring? The answer is Aragorn is not quite human. He's Numenorean, and that makes a difference. So here we are anyway. We got to Helm's Deep. Hope you enjoyed that. I did a bit of research to find that out, because it's a question that bugged me in some ways when you think about it. Why was Aragorn not affected by the ring is the same way that Boromir was? Why was Boromir first to fall? Well, dwarves are pretty resistant to the power of the rings. In fact, it makes them greedy and that kind of stuff, so a wee bit hard to see in Gimli in that case. Elves are very resistant to the power of the rings. Gandalf was resistant to the power of the rings. The hobbits were very resistant to the power of the ring. In fact, you have to remember that Gollum, who was essentially a hobbit, had the ring for a very long time. We're just heading out here onto the wall, I guess, to see if we can get a good view of Helm's Deep. Gone around the big circle, haven't I? Let's see if we can get out onto the wall. I think we might have to go up to get on there. Let's see. We'll get up onto a tower and have a look out. And we'll have a look at where the army comes to invade. Ooh. Seem to be around the back somewhere. Okay, so anyway. Sorry, this is making me dizzy. I hope it's not making anybody else dizzy. So, yes, and so the hobbits, as we saw, Gollum was extremely resistant to the power of the ring. He managed to survive a very long time, and the point is that he managed to maintain his own personality, his own self. I mean, it was very badly corrupted by the ring, but he was able to maintain. There's the wall. Okay, so we're going to get out. If we look here, we've got the Valley of Helm's Deep, and we can see if we can get down onto the wall to go out and see where all the action's going to take place in the battle. I think I might have to get down some stairs somewhere. There's the wall over there. I think we're just going to go right down into the... Sorry if this is making everybody dizzy. I'm going around circles here. Don't know where I'm going. Anyway, yes, so Boromir most susceptible to the ring, and of course he was the first one in the Fellowship to fall. And Faramir, because the blood of Numenor ran nearly true in him, Tolkien gives Faramir much... Basically, by that statement, Tolkien says that Faramir is not affected, less affected by the ring. Let's see if we can get down here onto the center of Helm's... center of the fortress. I think we go out this way, perhaps. Well, that's out into the... That's out into the valley. So there's the valley, and we'll see if we can get up onto the wall. As you can see, we've got the deeping wall out here. Don't know if you can see my cursor going across. Deeping wall out there, and this is the first one, but they all have to fall back from there when the orcs come. When the whole place gets invaded, and they stand in here and eventually beat off the enemy. So that's all very exciting. Let's see if this takes us out. This should take us out. Okay. So now we can get down, can we? Oh no, we just got a little... Yes, we can. We can get down into the inside of Helm's Deep. We can go and see if we can see the glittering caves. I don't know if I can get in here without doing a quest. But we'll nip up here onto the wall. There's the stream where they put the fire in to blow a big gap in there, and then Gimli comes and fixes it. And then we'll go up here and have a quick look at the view out from the wall. Here it is. Now remember the way back this time. And so, yeah, it better not fall off. And there you go. So, Boromir wasn't affected. Boromir was most affected by the ring because he was human, whereas Aragorn wasn't. Let's go and see if we can get into these glittering caves. I don't know if we can get in, but we'll see. Run up here. So a lot of people took shelter in the caves. A lot of people took shelter in the keep, which is that thing. And we're going to go and see if we can take shelter in the caves. Maybe we want to go around this way a bit. There's another bridge, I think. Let's go along here. I seem to remember doing these quests. A lot of this... Oh, there's a bridge over there. Look, I missed it. Anyway, we'll see if we can jump across the stream here. We might be able to do that. This looks like a good spot. Without being unhorsed. But we're going to be unhorsed if we get into the cave, and then we'll go and have a look. I see a gate. This doesn't look good. We're going to get blocked off, are we? There we are, too. I don't know how you get in there. Looks like I'm not going in. We're not going to see that. There's probably a quest I need to do. Let's see if there's some other way in. Or maybe it opens up after the time moves on in the game. We get another layer in here. But anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to stop there. We're going to take a shot of Helm's Deep for the thumbnail for the video. But hope you enjoyed that. I hope you now understand why Boromir was most affected by the ring. And I'll see you in the next video, which is when we're going to head for Isengard.